There's a rule that we follow in business that states that every single action, everything that's important inside of our company, we have 3 ways to grow from it. So if you put $1 into advertising, most companies want to make at least $1 back on their ad, right? But when you follow this rule, you set things up so that you make at least that $1 back from 3 different sources. And I'll give you examples of exactly how we do this in just a moment, because it's an advanced business tactic that any size company can tap into and immediately make more profit. And this works on the flip side too, because if by some chance we fail to accomplish our goal, like we fail to make that $1 back from our ad, we still make a profit from 2 other areas. Because in reality, you gotta think about this. Most companies fail on the front end more than 50% of the time, and that's being very, very conservative. They hope that one of the 10 things or so that they're testing will work, because they know that if just 1 out of every 10 things they try becomes a win, it'll generate enough money to sustain the loss that the other 9 kind of created, right? So if you feel anything like that in your business, if you've been through that before, give me a comment below and let me know that I'm not alone here. And if that one big thing is big enough, they're hoping that it'll bring in enough money to more than compensate for any loss that they have, plus give them a little bit of profit. But that's still relying on just one thing to be a big win. The challenge is that most entrepreneurs don't test 10 things. They put all their eggs into, 1 or 2 baskets, right? And when those fail to generate massive revenue, they feel stuck. Or they do test multiple offers, but most entrepreneurs just don't have the funding to hold them afloat until that 10th one actually pays off. And by the way, even if you do have the financial backing to make that work, that's still the wrong way to do it. There's no successful entrepreneurs who do it that way. I promise. I know so many successful entrepreneurs in our programs, in our companies. Nobody does it this way. Successful business people know how to profit multiple ways from every major decision they make across the board. So every action we take, everything that's important inside of our company, we have 3 ways to grow from it, at least 3 ways. Let me give you a couple of examples. Almost every company has some kind of marketing going on inside of their organization. And most companies look at that marketing as a way to increase direct sales. So if I put $1 in, I want more than $1 out. In fact, if I put $1 in, I want $5 or $10 or $20 out. But we don't always reach that. Most of the time, when we put $1 in, we're lucky if we break even. But in my company, I don't need to break even on day 1. That's the goal, but since I have at least 2 other ways to profit from every marketing dollar, I know I'm going to scale. So when my competitors are fighting to break even on day 1 or day 15 or whatever, I'm already making money, and a lot more money than they are, because we might take all of those people who we're marketing to, right, the people who we're going out there and putting our marketing in front of, and simultaneously set up a campaign that drives them to a phone number or to a website, and make sure that that number goes to a team of people who are going to be able to collect data, because we want to build a database. I want to collect leads, whether it's on the phone or on our website, because if we collect those leads, then we can follow up with them. So instead of relying solely on converting on day 1 from our marketing pieces, we can now build a relationship with those leads, and we can build trust with that relationship. And then finally, we could hopefully convert them into actual customers. So if we don't get them on day 1, then we'll be able to get them on day 2 or 3 or 4 or 30 or 50 or whatever. Somewhere down the road, we're going to convert them into a customer. And when we do, because we spent the time to build trust with them, they'll be bigger customers. They'll go deeper into our funnel, and they'll refer far more people to us. And also, if we're driving them to a website, we'll put retargeting, like a retargeting code on that website. In fact, I would never want to spend money driving prospects to a website that doesn't have some kind of retargeting on it. That way, anyone who doesn't buy or doesn't call us, they'll see our ads everywhere else they go online. That's the same kind of advertising that really large companies use every single day. So if you go to a big website to shop for shoes, and then the next 2 weeks or so, you see shoe ads all over the place, that's retargeting. And that might be one of the 3 ways that I guarantee that I'm going to profit from my marketing spend. The idea is, you can't rely on one way to profit from anything you do in business. Smart businesses always have at least 3 ways to profit from every major action they take. But let's say that we bought some ads, we drove them to a website or a phone number, we found out a little bit about them, we communicated with them, we built some trust, but they still didn't convert into a customer. That's okay. Because maybe the 3rd way that we're going to profit on this group is by asking them for a referral. And if that's done right, we've built this relationship with them, and we didn't pound them for a sale, then a percentage of those prospects will refer a friend to you. In fact, 12% of our revenue currently comes from referrals from people who are not even customers of ours. They're prospects of ours, and they love us. But our offer is maybe just not right for them right at that time, or for whatever reason. It's just not right for them, right? It's not the right product for them. Whatever the case is, it doesn't really make a difference. But they still refer people to us. And that's a lot of revenue that would be lost if we didn't treat those leads with respect. But let's take that to the next level, because if we get them into our database and we don't sell them and we don't build up enough trust for them to refer somebody to us, we can still profit by marketing other people's products to them, either as an affiliate or by maybe a joint venture deal that we have with that company. And we'll make a lot of revenue on that, because there's going to be a lot of people who come from your marketing who may not love your message, right? They may not love you. They may not love your brand. They may not love the colors on your website or in your business, but they still raised their hand initially and they said, I need this solution. They just don't want it from you. So we'll offer somebody else's product or service and we'll make money from that referral. As long as you're offering products that are ethical and effective to your prospects, then it'll be a win-win all around, and it's wonderful for your company to do. Now, what about if, for example, you're an author? So authors want to make money from their book, right? And that's great, but it's really rare. Most authors don't make a lot of money from their book sales, but you can do a lot of other things, right? You can put a coupon inside of your books so that everybody who sees your books also sees an offer from you for another product. And you got to watch the words that I use here, because not everybody who sees your book sees it because they bought it. If your book is digital or it's audio, then every single book you sell, there's probably 8 or more family members or friends who got sent a copy of your book, who didn't actually buy it. And you might think, oh my gosh, that sucks. They're stealing my profits. But I think it's amazing, right? It's an amazing way to get more people to buy other products from our company. In fact, you should have multiple coupons in different sections of your books for different offers. And people will see those coupons and they will go to your website or they will call the phone number or whatever it is that your call to action is. They're going to spend more money with you, right? They're going to like your offer. Let me give you an example. In one of my books, we have 4 different coupons. We have a coupon in the very front of the book, we have a coupon in the very back of the book, and we have coupons in 2 other chapters within the books. So although we sold over 300,000 copies of that book in the very first year, comparatively, we made very little money from book sales. The majority of our profit did not come from the sales of those books. It came from the other products that people bought using the coupons in that book. So if you're an author, yes, it would be nice if you made money on the sale of your book. But to make that book a real profit center for you, a real business, you should look for at least 3 ways to generate revenue, right? Book sales might be one. Coupons inside of your books that sell other products, that might be another. Maybe a third way is to use your book to build credibility and then use that credibility to close even bigger deals. Like maybe you give your book away to the right people, to your target audience, so that they could read it and get a taste of the kind of service and the kind of quality that you offer, and then maybe they potentially purchase from you. Now, what if you're not an author? What if you're a speaker? Again, you want 3 ways to profit. You want 3 ways to profit no matter what in business. But if you're a speaker, first, you might get paid to speak. Now, when I speak, I get a check even before I leave my office, and then I over-deliver when I'm on stage. Second, you might be able to make an offer at that event, like sell something, right? Anytime I agree to speak at an event, people inevitably come up to me and ask, how do I get into your advisory program? And if we have space in that program, it's another way that that speaking gig could generate revenue for us. And third, you could build a community, right? At every single event that I speak at, I want to be able to share just a greater message than the audience has ever heard before. So great, so different, so valuable to them that whether they get into one of our programs or not, they definitely become a prospect because they got so much value. They come into some kind of community of mine. Maybe it's social media, maybe it's YouTube or Instagram or wherever it is, or maybe it's on our website. And my communities grow every single time I speak. And those communities become viral because once somebody comes into our community, they get a lot of value and they share our message with a lot of their friends. And eventually, a lot of those people buy from us. So as our communities grow, so does our revenue, and so does our reach, and so do the relationships that we have with great people. And also, anytime you speak, it should grow your credibility so that you should be able to say, hey, I just spoke at Amazon, or I just spoke at Google, or wherever it is. And you could leverage that credibility to become far more profitable. So for every major action you take in business, you need 3 ways at least to profit from it. Even if you're selling your company, let's think all the way at the end. Let's say you're selling your company. When you go to sell a company, or maybe when you go to buy another company, you want to be able to make sure that you're able to profit in multiple ways. When I acquire companies, number one, I may acquire a company just to get their customers because I know that I could sell my products or my services to their customers and easily make back whatever I paid for that company in maybe 12 months or less. But that's only the first level. We want to be able to profit from every single level. Yes, I may be able to profit from bringing in additional customers when I buy that company, but maybe they have people on their team who are going to be an amazing asset to my company. So number 2, the second way I may profit, I may buy a company just because they have amazing employees or because they have a great leadership team who, if I could get that company at a decent price and I could introduce those people to my culture and they stick, it'll drastically accelerate our growth. And 3, maybe they have a list of really great prospects who they haven't been able to sell their products or their services to. I'll go in there and I'll take their prospects and I'll close at least 10% of those people right off the bat. Yeah. So after I buy a company, I may be able to get 25% of their customers to stick with me. Probably a lot more. I'm being really conservative here. And I may be able to use 25% of their team, and I may be able to bring maybe 25% of their prospects and make them new customers of ours. And I may be able to use the relationships that they've already built up with their vendors to save my company, 10 or 20% of some of our expenses. And they may have IP, like software that I could use in my companies to make us more efficient, or maybe they have equipment or products that I could sell. Because no matter what, anytime I sell or buy a company, I have 3 or more ways that I'm going to profit from it, because shit always hits the fan, right? It always happens. And the only way you'll ever scale smoothly at a rapid pace is by having at least 3 ways to profit in every situation. And this shouldn't be something that you just think about. Every major action you take in business, write it down. Then find at least 3 ways that you could grow from that action. It'll be a game changer for you if you're one of those people who hears this and takes action. Now, I have a bonus for you, because no matter what stage of growth you're at, we all need an unbiased review of what's working and also what might not be working anymore in our business. Because the greatest cause of stagnation in any company, the reason most companies hit plateaus in their growth, is because they fail to see the roadblocks that stop momentum in its tracks. And that can be extremely frustrating. I know, because I've struggled for years in business, in fact, over a decade. And I know what it's like to work 20-hour days when something just isn't quite working the way I wanted it to. But I've also built nearly a dozen successful companies, and I've helped other business owners to 5 or 10 or 20x their profits and bring in millions of extra dollars, because businesses that are built to grow using the tactics like we just talked about always grow. On the other hand, businesses that were not specifically engineered to grow rarely grow, and they often hit plateaus. And when you know how to grow efficiently and keep the momentum going, then scaling your business becomes predictable. And the very first step is to review where you are and what needs to be fixed. Right now, at the stage you're at today, which is most likely different than the things that needed to be fixed 6 months ago or a year ago. So I want to give you free access to the tool that we use to monitor my companies. It's the Build to Grow Review. And if you use the link in the description or go to buildtogrowreview.com/123, you can get free access to it. But you have to use that link. So far, over 8,000 entrepreneurs and CEOs have used it to help them build momentum in their business fast. So use the link in this video or go to buildtogrowreview.com/123 now, and use this tool to collapse timeframes and scale a lot more this year than you ever even thought possible. Also, if this is the very first time you're seeing one of my videos, subscribe and hit the bell notification so you're first to get access to every business video tip that comes out. And then keep the momentum going by clicking on the next video right over here.